Hey,
Hey,
welcome in, boys. It's Monday.
has anyone seen my grandson? This is where he typically works. I'm a bit confused. I'll leave a trail of breadcrumbs outside the press box in case he's lost.
You worried about ants?
We're going to handle one problem at a time. Joshy, where are you? Hello.
Cubs win.
Ah, man,
win.
it's a punchy day here in Panda Land.
Oh, man. Welcome into a Monday. It's the Bullpen. I am Tony Mack. That is Tricky Ricky. We are looking live here at Toyota Field. Where
Has anyone got a Red Bull or maybe a Monster Energy I could borrow? Don't need the whole thing. Just looking for a sip.
We just had 6 games in 4 days. Yesterday was a game that I didn't think we would play, let alone start on time. We didn't start it on time. It got played, though, because our grounds crew is awesome. We got a little luck with the weather coming through as well. You could swim in the outfield at 4 o'clock, and then by 5 o'clock, we're playing baseball.
I don't know if that's an exaggeration. The wind was blowing at one point and creating waves. There was a wave pool in right field around 3 o'clock.
So we ended up getting the game in. It went to extras, so we didn't end up leaving the field till like 9 o'clock last night. So
Yeah, life in the minor leagues, baby.
that's right, baseball. But some good news though that came out of this series. Like my colleague here, I always believed in Jeremiah Jackson. He's been playing really, really well here at home lately. At the beginning of the season, it was on the road where he had all of his success. He had that one series where he hit like 600 on the road. And then he struggled at home, and then he just kind of got back to normal, I guess. He was fine. But this week, Jeremiah Jackson had a vendetta.
Can we have a quick moment of silence for your theory about Jeremiah Jackson's play on the road versus at home? Hey! I'm back!
Dude,
Yo, that thing's dead, buddy.
he looked so he had almost 450 this week at home. Hit 4 bombs. Was the reason they ended up rallying and winning on Game 2 on Saturday. Game 1, doubleheader Game 1 on Saturday went almost 3 hours. A 7-inning game went almost 3 hours. And then we started the next game, and it gets late into the game, and Jeremiah hits a shot that looks like it could be his 5th home run. It unfortunately, this time it went to center, and it just didn't have the distance into the wrong part of the ballpark. And as I believe our bat boy was going to pick up Jeremiah Jackson's bat, Eric Osberg, the catcher for the Biscuits, had kicked the bat and tossed it towards the dugout. And
Kicked it with disrespect.
did not sit well with the trash pans. Everybody was jawing.
Especially Levon Soto.
Everybody jumped. Oh, but Levon was furious. Everyone jumped out to come to their defense, jumped out of the dugout. It was benches clearing. Everybody came out, got in each other's face. There's a guy from Montgomery, looked like he was ready to start throwing.
Start doing this number. He said, yeah, no.
And then, of course, here come the bullpens for no reason all the way out. It's still
They get bored. They get bored out there.
It drives me nuts. Yeah, but what do the bullpens do whenever there's a benches clearing thing? What happens when the bullpens come out? They get all the way to where the brawling is happening, and they get in each other's face.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna get into the other bullpen's face, why not just walk out the doors out there in left field and go at it there?
No, you got to stay warm. You got to get your steps in. Like I said, they're bored. They're begging. They're begging for these moments.
Oh
Like,
my
please
God.
let me just run out of here for a second so I can have a fake argument with a guy who sits in an area that I can't even see.
I've never met this guy.
I don't even know
before.
these guys exist until there's a fight. Let me just get a little playtime.
Yeah.
It's recess for the bullpen.
Well, they had some fun. The Trash Pandas ended up winning that game. I'll tell you what, I've never seen either guy back up some trash talk like they did that night. So Jeremiah Jackson, again, he hit the shot that almost went out in that Game 2, and they come back with the Trash Pandas, I believe, it was a tie game at 2-2 at the time. And then the guy who started the whole controversy was the catcher. He was the next guy to bat. He was the very first guy coming up to the plate. And then people in the press box are like, I won't be surprised if they earhole this guy right here.
They gave warnings, too. They let him know, like, hey, get ready. Okay,
Dude.
if you hit this guy, I will toss you immediately.
Dude came out to the plate. He didn't even get a pitch in. He came out. Jeremiah Jackson had to meet the umpire at the plate. Jeremiah was playing third that game. He had to meet the umpire at the mound with the pitcher, and then they, I guess, exchanged some warnings. And immediately Eric Osberg went yard.
Yeah, they should have plunked him.
Yeah,
They should
definitely
have plunked him, no doubt.
They take the lead 3-2. Pandas come back in the bottom of that inning, and a couple of errors helped get the inning started. And then Jeremiah Jackson comes up with a base hit, ends up driving in a couple runs. Then he ends up scoring a run. The Trash Pandas scored 4 in that inning to go up 6-3. And then here comes the 7th inning when we're all looking at the thing. I'm like, dude, if
the final 7th inning.
The final 7th inning, if it goes 1-2-3, the final out will be Osberg. If it goes 1-2-3, and we're all like, oh, we can't wait for this. So I believe the first batter was out. Then the next one, the first guy gets walked, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the next guy comes up, and I'm sitting here thinking, please don't put this guy on base because the count, I think, got full. So don't put this guy on base because Osberg can then tie up the game if you put him on base. They didn't put him on base. He's out. Then Osberg comes up and jacks a 2-run shot.
Should have plunked him again. Definitely after the first home run, put it into his head.
It made it 6-5, and the Trash Pandas were still able to hold on and win that game. But both guys, because Jeremiah came up big in the bottom of that very next inning, came up huge. They backed it up. They backed it up for sure. I've never seen a guy like Osberg back it up like that.
That's got to stink for that Osberg guy because after that first home run, he starts the whole brawl. The entire dugout is yapping at him after the fight too. Mm-hmm. They're tearing him up. It's one man against like 20 over there. And then he gets up there and first at bat hits a tank, which has got to feel amazing. I can still see the dent on the bullpen bar and grill out there in left center. And he hits the home run and then hits a second home run the same night, but then loses. So you can't even really brag about it.
Yeah.
That's got to be a tough feeling. You come up clutch twice like that, shove it in the away fans' faces, and then you still lose.
It was awful. And I'm glad you brought that up about the bullpen bar out there. That was the other thing that made it so bad. The crowd, which was it was very close to our biggest crowd of the season. It was like 50 people away from being the biggest crowd of the season. It was a very loud crowd, very big crowd, completely silent when he hit the ball because you knew it was going yard. You knew that ball was not staying in the ballpark. So they were already quiet. But then you hear the sound of it plunk in the top of the bar while he's running the bases. And after you already knew it was gone, that extra sound made it even more demoralizing.
It was so loud, man. And it made me think, what's it like when you're watching the game over at the bullpen bar and grill and a home run hits the roof? Does the bartender just spill your drink? If you're oh, my God. Oh, okay, I'm going to need to remake that mojito. I'm currently wearing it right now after Osberg home run that hit the roof of the building. But Patrick, who was on cameras that day, did you see the tweet? He says, on Osberg's second home run, there was this guy yelling, swing! The whole at bat. So he yells, swing! And Osberg hits that home run. And much more quietly, that same guy says, Jesus. That was me, too. I was like, no.
We were all up here very, tongue and just.
And then he had the biggest smile on his face after he rounded third and coming home. I'm like, I hate this guy. I hate this guy.
And then we immediately took the lead back in the next inning, which was great.
That fight really kind of sparked the crowd. It sparked the team. It was kind of before that.
Yeah, because we just had a 3-hour, 7-inning game before that, in which the Trash Pandas got smoked late.
And then you go into this game, there's not much juice. The fans already feel beaten, and then that rejuvenated everybody. That got me pumped up. That got the fans pumped up. I think the lady in the dance-off, was that the same night where she almost karate kicked me in the head?
Yes, absolutely.
She started yapping at a fan at one point. Was like, "I'll dance better than you, old man." And I'm like, "What's happening?" Everyone's chippy over weird things. Dancing and bat boys have started 2 fights. Pretty cool though. But yeah, that dance lady almost knocked me out right there in foul territory.
I'm surprised she could stand up. She looked like she had been enjoying a few.
She had her a couple cocktails, yeah, no doubt.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing
as
wrong
long
with
as you do it responsibly.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong.
Not here to judge. But she did almost take out the vision in my right eye with a rogue cartwheel. That she went about 5 more cartwheels than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I thought maybe 1.
Her entire dance was just taunting Taylor, our reigning champion for 2.5 years now.
She tried to taunt the champ, and then she tried to kill the host on the mic. She just tried to take over an entire half-inning promotion. And part of me is like, how dare you? But then the other part of me is like, I'm impressed. She went for a full-on coup. Is that a coup?
I mean, Unsuccessful one, but I think
Yeah.
it was an attempt.
It was
Yeah.
an attempted coup. And I don't throw that word around lightly.
I don't think you've ever
that.
said that word before, honestly.
By God, there was a near coup out here.
But I wanted
Hey, has anyone heard about the coup over here in Pandaland?
I wanted to pull up the
Yeah.
Player of the Week honors. We mentioned Jeremiah Jackson wins Player of the Week after playing really well. I was trying to get up his stats. Here we go. It says over 5 games last week in Montgomery, but we played 6, right? So I don't know what.
Yeah, but he might not have played in one of them. I don't think he played in one of the games.
Did he not play in one?
Mm-mm.
That makes sense. He was in. They put him in the outfield once a week too. He was in the outfield last night.
I saw him in a
Which
long
game
sleeve
did
shirt
they
one
play?
day. I don't think he played.
Must have been one of the. Was it the first doubleheader?
It was one of them. Yeah.
Maybe in the first
Yeah,
doubleheader.
yeah, good chance. Yeah.
But over the last 5 games against Montgomery, he went 421, 8 of 19, with 4 home runs, 7 RBI, 6 runs scored, 3 walks, 6 extra base hits, and a massive. You want to guess what his slugging percentage was?
A million.
Close, 1.158.
Pretty close.
Unbelievable. He recorded at least 1 hit in all 5 games against the Biscuits at Toyota Field to extend his current hitting streak to 7 games.
And the first man to ever wear the NASA space helmet we got in the dugout for home runs.
Can we please carve out some time to talk about this?
We could do it right now. It's our show.
I am so very angry
Yeah,
at how good that is and how long it took to implement something like that.
so true.
Because, I mean, we're 2.5 years in now. And, you see the Angels have like the samurai hat.
Uh-huh.
Get up. You got a bunch of home run. Tennessee has the daddy hat in college, right? You've got a bunch of home run celebrations. I don't know if we've ever had anything in our dugout before, but nothing will ever top what we now have. It is the home run astronaut helmet. And it's every bit as sick as you believe it to be.
Yeah, it's a shame we had to wait so long, but I believe it was John Fitzgerald Kennedy back in 1961 that told the nation, we will put a man on the moon before the end of this decade. And in 1969, they achieved that goal.
That's right.
It took 8 years. Space travel is not easy, Tony Mac. So to even get the equipment takes at least a couple years. So I'm not going to be too bummed out on that one. We've got it now, and it's luscious.
I, for one, like to believe that NASA has come a long way in 50 years, but that's just me.
No doubt. I mean, there's
60 now.
definitely I think you can probably see a couple signs in society that technology has advanced since the late 60s.
How many iPhones were floating around in JFK's day?
Shipping, though, has got maybe worse sometimes, I order a lot of things during the course of the season, and it can be a little trouble.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
But
Going to space, see, look, as far as travel goes in the world, going towards space, totally doable. We can make that happen. Now, going horizontal, staying on Earth, getting things, places, difficult.
Well, you run into a lot more traffic that way. It's not a
See, that's the thing about space, no traffic. You called it. See, we just solved our own problem.
not a lot of traffic going up.
Now, in the future, 1,000 years from now, that'll probably be an issue.
That's true.
Space traffic, will we ever get over it? I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to live to see that day.
Space. They've been talking about. I've seen. I don't know if it's rumors or what. I've just seen people talking about. I don't know if it's an actual real thing.
Yeah.
But ads in space. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, if they start selling ads in space, I think I'll go underground.
Putting a big screen up where you just kind of look up and it's like, hey, go to Wendy's.
Yeah, if I got to see the 4 for 4 deal plastered on the face of the moon when I go outside, I don't know. I'm going to go across the street to the competitor, I think.
I wonder what the going rate would be.
That's pretty good.
More or less expensive than a Super Bowl commercial?
More.
Hey.
Moon's here all year.
If we can play ads.
Mostly.
If we can play ads in space, why not put the Super Bowl up there?
Whoa.
Like on the screen, not actually played on the moon. That probably wouldn't go
Can
well.
we get a little word in from the Yovan cousin out in Montana? What do you think about this one? That seems kind of up your alley right here. What if the Super Bowl was in space? Whoa. Well, let's just think about that for a second, huh? Whoa, yeah, that's pretty good. That's nuts. What are we talking about, though? Yeah, Jeremiah Jackson had a great week.
Yeah,
sure.
It was a great week. The Trash Pandas, unfortunately, dropped 4 of the 6 games. They won 2 of them. The first half of the season is now over, though. So, you know what that means?
Yeah,
You've been talking about it for weeks. You know what that means?
I think. I'm not reading it. I'm slow today.
The regular baseball's coming back.
Hey, yeah, all right. Yeah, there were a lot of different answers I was thinking there. But, yeah, the regular baseball. Good riddance to the old baseball.
That's right.
Let's blow one up. This is the Rocket City. Let's blow up. I saw when the Steve Bartman baseball, the Cubs, they blew that thing up, you know? And I feel like the baseball that we've had to deal with, you know, I mean, the Cubs only had to deal with it that one time with Bartman.
Yep.
I mean, granted, it happened in the playoffs. It cost them big. But we've had to play this thing over 60-something games. I'm ready to blow up our whole supply of those things.
In no way, shape, form, or fashion is this a statement from anybody but me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say all the failures that we had so far in the first half was on that baseball. It was the baseball's fault. I'll say it. No one else has to say it. I speak for no one but myself. It was the baseball's
I'll
fault.
sign off on that one, too. It's the baseball's fault. Now, these thoughts do not reflect those of the Trash Painters organization nor the L.A. Angels. They would can us in a second if we were speaking on their behalf on the baseballs. And we're not. We're totally not. This is just in this room right now. But, yeah, I blame every single loss and bad moment we had in the first half of the season to those baseballs.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing else.
How many games we got left in the second half?
69.
69 games in the second half, right?
There's 3 more, actually, till officially the half's done. They play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in Birmingham.
I think. What do you think? I think. Okay, so I'll take those games out and just talk about the 69 in the second half. With the new baseball, with the regular baseball coming, the new regular baseball coming back, I say we're going to go a very conservative. 66-3.
That's fair.
Conservative.
I think you could have gone 67-2. Honestly,
yeah, leave a little margin for error in there. You know,
you never know with weather and stuff like that. And you know, what if they make us use new bats? Oh man, that'd be got new gloves.
Did we leave the bats in the rain yesterday before that game? We had like 7 broken bats.
Is that right?
In that game, we had at least 4 or 5.
I didn't even realize it.
Quite a bit of and they were shattered too. Several of them.
I don't know. I don't know how wood works.
Sonny's bat almost killed someone.
Is that the one that went out and like almost hit the shortstop?
I'll be honest with you.
Baseman?
It could have been. It could have been another. There were a couple that went flying. One went up into the really high up into the net too. There's a lot of really hard broken bats in that one last night.
I'm going to blame the baseballs.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think if there's anybody to blame, it's the baseballs.
For sure. Trial and error. We tried it out. Get that baseball out of here.
Trash.
Speaking of, we were talking about the home run celebration with the astronaut hat helmet. We were compared to some of the ones in college baseball. Speaking of college baseball, we got Game 3 of the Men's College World Series tonight.
Pumped.
LSU and Florida. And I'm going to go ahead and say, so you have the potential. All the conversation today has been around Paul Skeens for LSU. How long is he going to go? Are we going to see him today? Is he going to start? Is he going to come in relief? A lot of conversation around that because the dude in the last 9 days has thrown over 250 pitches. He's thrown almost 250 pitches in the last 9 days. He's coming off of, I think, 3 days of rest for tonight's game. So, obviously, if LSU is able to get a late lead and they bring him in a relief type situation, you feel pretty good about their chances to win. I'll say this, though, and I'm going to base it off of what happened not last night but the night before in Major League Baseball when the Angels scored 25 runs in a ball game against the Rockies in the middle of that series. They lost game 1. They scored 25 runs. They win 25-1 and then turn around and end up losing the series the next day. 25 runs is great in a game, but it only counts as 1 win. Florida won 24-4 yesterday. I think LSU gets it done tonight.
Think Florida's tapped out?
I think they're tapped out.
They're out of gas?
I think LSU gets it done tonight.
I did too. LSU's got that little bit of edge on them. And, you know, Florida had the back against the wall mentality. They knew what they had to do. They had to go out there. They're catching LSU on the night the Skeens isn't pitching, too, so that's a big one. They know this was their moment. Mm-hmm. They made it happen. I think tonight LSU, like you said, if they get a little lead and you bring Skeens out the bullpen, oof. That's a tall task right there if you're Florida. And
you can count on one hand, too, how many, mediocre games we've had in the College World Series because it's been very few. The College World Series this last week and a half has been amazing. Last night's game wasn't great, but, leading up to the championship series, that game 1 of the champ series was really good, went to extras. And then you had the night before – that was the night before, right before the champ series, the elimination game between Wake Forest and LSU that pitcher's duel that I think went scoreless into extras. That was one of the best pitching duels I've ever seen in college baseball, ever. And then you carry in, and then Skeens isn't on the mound, obviously, to start the College World Series. Florida strikes out 20 times and still has a chance to win that game in Game 1. They go out and score 24 runs last night, and then now tonight we get ready for Game 3. It's been a really, really great College World Series.
I know, man. I've been trying to watch it from a distance with this homestand we just had, so I feel like I've been out of the loop a little bit, but I'm pumped to see Game 3 tonight. That's going to be some good ball.
Our social media guy's a big Gator, and he yesterday, Florida took a 1-0 lead. LSU ends up scoring 3 runs. It's 3-1 early, and I'm over at Lucas's desk talking to him because it's pouring down rain here, and he's like, I turned it off. I'm not watching. I've got to reverse the mojo, right? We've all been there.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah, he turned it off. He wouldn't watch. I had it on my phone.
I can't do that.
I had it on my phone standing next to his desk telling him what was happening. He was like, I'm not turning it on because if I turn it back on, we won't win. But what's going to happen? He called it, too. I told him it was bases loaded. I think no outs at the time. But I was like, bases are loaded right now with 1 out. And the score's 3-3. He was like, if I turn it back on, we're going to lose. But I'm not going to turn it back on. He was like, watch, we're going to hit a grand slam. We're going to go up 7-3. 2 batters later, they hit a grand slam. They go up 7-3. They did not look back after that.
Can't argue with the superstition. And I'm a very superstitious guy, but I can never take myself out of the game. If I felt like I had to turn it off for us to win, I'd rather just watch and lose, I think. I can't do it.
I'm really superstitious, too, but I agree. When it comes to that, I'm going to watch the game. I'll be miserable and mad, but I'm not giving up.
I'll find something else. I'll be like, maybe I need to put my shoes on my hands.
What if I do this?
Yeah.
My left foot won't touch the ground the rest of the game.
No, it's fine. I'm doing the left foot thing. I can still watch.
Yeah.
And then we'd lose, and I'd go, I knew that left foot thing wasn't going to work.
Should have been the right.
That was so stupid. I should just turn it off.
Why do you even have these socks still?
I don't even know why I like sports.
Stop putting them in my drawer.
Sports are stupid anyway.
Throw them away.
Half the time
they always lose.
They don't even make the right call.
These socks stink. No, seriously, they're my lucky socks.
I swear, I'm not even gonna look at my foot. I ain't even gonna look.
I
rest
might
of the
cut it
day.
off. I might go ahead and cut it off. Give me a towel. Let me bite down.
Someone put my foot in the freezer. I'm gonna freeze that thing off. I've seen it happen.
I'm so superstitious, man. I'll stand on one side of the room while I'm watching a certain drive, and then if the defense goes out on the field, I'll go to the other side, depending on what sport I'm watching.
Speaking of superstition, I whatever is happening here outside this window in front of me, I can't focus, and I don't feel like good things are ever going to happen if we don't get this down. There is like a spider web with like 7 dragonflies.
It's a dragonfly boneyard, right?
And they're all dead, and they're dangling. And look, I'm point the camera at this. Try to get a good shot of this. Look at this dangling dragonfly boneyard right here, blowing in the wind.
The wind won't blow quite hard enough to get rid of it either.
No, there's no reason why that should physically still be up there. I don't even know what it's attached to, but it's terrifying, man. This brings me back to the days when that crow used to hang out here. That crow with no hair around its neck. That looked like it was in a biker gang. It looked like it's had its throat slashed a couple times. That crow's finally either been killed or it found a new home or or it's in bird prison for things that it did in its past that it can't even speak of.
It's definitely bird prison.
Whatever, it's gone. Now we got Dragonfly Boneyard over here. I can't focus because it's freaking me out.
In summary, yeah, I think LSU's a pretty good baseball team. I don't know, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I get.
All right, stop looking at the dragon.
We got like a lighter or something? Can we just burn it?
If LSU does...
How do all of those dragonflies, how do they get in that same position?
I don't know. Does it look like I study dragonflies?
I'll leave it alone.
Do I study the dragonflies?
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm going to lift my right foot until they leave.
You're sitting down. I don't think it'll be tough.
It's still there.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'll leave it up. I don't care.
So if Florida ends up winning this game over LSU, we're approaching Tom Brady, Eli Manning territory in terms of kryptonite in the big one. Because LSU, I think it's 6-time champions, right? They've won 6 college baseball national championships. They've only been to the final one time where they've lost. It was 2017 against Florida. This is the first time they've been back since. Again, LSU undefeated in the title series except against Florida. If they lose to Florida again and go 0-2 to Florida, but they're 6-time champions playing anybody else, you're approaching big kryptonite territory here. Florida being the LSU kryptonite.
For 2 times?
Well, if you're LSU, this is your 8th time in the College World Series championship.
Yeah.
You've won 6 of them. The only one you've lost was to Florida in 2017, and then now you're back again against Florida. And if you lose again, you're 0-2 against the Gators in the championship series in the last 6 years, but you're 6-0 against everybody else. Yeah, you're approaching kryptonite territory.
I guess. I'd like to go to 3. Oh, there's a bird flying by. Eat the dragonfly. They won't do it.
Well, Tom Brady lost to Eli twice.
Yeah, but that's the Super Bowl.
This is the College World Series.
Yeah, it was way bigger. The Super Bowl. Have they ever thought about playing the College World Series in space?
I don't think they thought about the Super Bowl in space until me right now.
We don't know that.
You're welcome. Another thing.
You're telling me Roger Goodell's never held a meeting about possibly having the Super Bowl in space. Please.
May have came up in Antonio Brown's exit interview, maybe.
Please. Come on.
Wackadoo.
Come on. They've thought about it.
I'm just saying, man.
They've made calls.
You're undefeated against everybody, and now your second time playing that team in
why do you think
6 years.
Why do you think we have a Space Force? That's stadium security, pal. That's stadium security. You think we're going to goof around in space with sporting events just because it's not on Earth? No.
To be fair, I did not mean playing the Super Bowl actually in space. I meant if we're putting ads in space, why not put the Super Bowl on the TV that's going to be...
Oh, you wanted to watch it on a screen from space, not actually play the physical game in space?
Correct. Yeah.
Why? Why quit?
Well,
Why stop there?
The entire world could see
Why
it.
not play it on the moon?
Well, I mean, you've got guys that have jet lag going to London and aren't ready to play. Imagine how long it's going to take to adjust going to space.
Well, that's why you get that extra week in between the conference championships and the Super Bowl. It's going to happen. You chuckle now. Super Bowl 125 is going to be on the moon.
It'll be on the moon. We won't be here to see it, but it'll be there.
It'll be the Vikings of Seattle versus teams will move. There'll be relocations. You won't.
The Seattle Vikings.
The Vikings will move to Seattle. The Seahawks will move to Minnesota. It'll be a city-for-city trade. Mayors are going to start trading their teams in the future. You don't know that.
We've seen coach trades before in I've seen it in the NBA. I don't know if it's happened in any other sport, but we've seen that in major sports. We've seen all kinds of stuff. A city-to-city trade for a franchise.
Some guy in St. Paul is going to wake up one morning and go, I'm a Seahawks fan now. Okay. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
That would be insane.
It'll happen.
What would be the best, trade city-to-city trade value?
L.A., New York. Chicago, Miami. Green Bay and Rocket City.
What?
Well, Green Bay, city-wise, what other city in the league compares to Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Yeah, but think about the trade value. We're getting an NFL franchise. What are they getting? They're losing an NFL franchise.
You're getting the best minor league baseball team in America.
Which is cool. But you're losing a team worth billions.
All right, maybe that wasn't the best one.
No, it stunk.
Okay. All right.
Dallas, Pittsburgh.
Well, maybe if there weren't 8 dead dragonflies waving in my face, maybe I could think a little clearer. It's been a long week, dude.
Go to sleep, dude. You need to go.
It's been a long week, okay?
You don't say.
They're going to play it on the moon. And if the World Series didn't have so many games, they'd play that up there too.
All right, I can't talk to you talking about space and the dragonflies. Go to the comments. Let me talk to them. Let me talk to the people
Fine,
here.
I don't care. Talk to whoever you want.
Papa Yovan says, can't wait to be in Alabama on Thursday. Be ham till the 4th, then Rocket City from the 4th to the 7th. Do we get to meet? You get to meet your extended family next week.
Papa? Is that you?
Papa, can you hear me?
Papa? Can we have a catch?
Do you have a catch or do you play catch?
I play catch, but I like to say have a catch in situations where I'm pining for the love of my fake father.
So just this, how many situations like that have you been in?
You'd be surprised.
You know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
So we get the Yovans coming into town soon. That'll be sweet.
That's going to be sweet. That really is. I'm ready to see Kenyon go out there and pitch some more with the fam. With the fam jam in the house. I'm ready to see if Pops does the same craziness in the stands as his baby boy.
Was it that same game?
Did you see his new thing, by the way?
Yes.
He did this thing where it looked like he's putting on an invisible jetpack. I liked that. He struck that guy out and he went, "Yeah, here we go." I'm like, oh, invisible jetpack? Is he gonna Is he going to take off?
I saw him look down after he got out of that jam and just like as hard, and I would imagine it's very hard, as hard as he can, like slapping himself two-handed in the chest several times. It got me fired up.
And he said, I can't even pitch. I'm going to the moon, and I'm going to start politicking for the Super Bowl. He put on an invisible jetpack. I've never seen that one before. The Gritty is dead. The putting on an invisible jetpack is in.
It was really awesome. So we had that. We also had we had some interesting moves because we've had a couple of well, it was one newcomer and then a guy that's been very dear to the organization get traded in the middle of a game, like the first inning of a game. What was it? Coleman Crow.
Coleman Crow and Landon Marceau
Got traded to the Mets organization for an infielder for the Angels.
right in the middle of our game.
Yeah, dude, it was like the first
Is
inning.
that the
He was
Thursday
in there
doubleheader?
saying goodbyes, wasn't he?
I'm in the tunnel getting ready to do whatever tomfoolery we got scheduled in between the inning, and I see Coleman come up to the elevator, and he's got his bags packed. He's in a collared shirt. You know, he's not looking like a guy who's preparing to play baseball at all. And you see that occasionally where the guys pack their bags and they're moving around. You just know, like, all right, they got the call. So I saw Coleman, and he comes down to the dugout, or at least the tunnel, on the way to the dugout, and a bunch of guys come out, and they dap, and they're talking, and they're hugging, and all this. And I'm like, oh, man, Coleman must have got the call. So I asked him, like, Coleman, you going up? He's like, no, I got traded. And I was like, oh. I didn't say anything else. I didn't know what to do. I don't know if that's a good thing, or, like, are you happy, or are you sad? But he's like, no, I'm traded. But he had a big smile on his face, so I was like, oh, he must be happy about his new opportunity. He's probably happy to get away from these dragonflies, if anything. But yeah,
It could have been so much worse if he had been like released or something.
I got cut, and be like, oh, yeah. At least he's still a professional baseball player. That could have been really awkward.
Oh my god! Hey, you
I
going
was
up?
fired. Oh. Do you want to do the Bubble Boy Sumo now?
Speaking of Bubble Boy Sumo, dude, we had Torrey Hunter Jr. did that thing the other day and absolutely rocked one of our interns.
It was a fantastic week, dude. I'm sitting up here Thursday, Friday,
Friday,
maybe.
don't even try to make me remember what game.
I
was
know
which.
none of the days add up to me anymore. But I was sitting up here one day, and I looked down, and I'm like, "Is that Torrey Hunter Jr.?" And he's just sitting in the stands right by the net while the guys are doing batting practice. I'm like, "Whoa! I guess he's not playing baseball right now." And I'm looking at our list. I'm like, "Got a Bubble Boy Sumo going on the players." Ever since we started doing that game, they always come up to me like, "Oh, I love that dude. Hey, can I get in there, please?" And I'm like, "Dude, there's not ever a chance you're going to be able to get in here. You know, you guys got contracts, stipulations. If I throw you in this suit and you tweak an ankle, I'm the one that's going to get in trouble, oddly enough. So, like, you might get a fine. I will be permanently fined of all paychecks. They'll be gone forever. So I'm like, no, I wish we could, guys, but we can't. But Torrey Hunter Jr.'s there. And I know he's not currently on a roster, so I'm thinking maybe he can do it. So I go down there and I go, "Hey, man, what's going on, Torrey? How you doing?" He's such a nice guy. We get reacquainted, and I go, "Hey, man, I don't know if you got any contractual obligations currently in your life, but we got a Bubble Boy Sumo tonight, and we got our intern over here on one side. I'd love to put you in the other side. The fans would love it. It'd be so awesome." And he was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll do it." And I'm like, "Wait, really?" "Yeah, I'll do it." I was like, "Will you meet me here in the second inning?" He'd be like, "Yeah, I can do that." And I'm thinking, nah, he's going to flake out. He's going to ghost. He's just trying to get me out of here. Come the second inning, here comes Torrey Hunter Jr. coming down the tunnel. He puts that thing on, and like the old jacked up segment on NFL Primetime, Torrey Hunter Jr. went out there and relived some of his old Notre Dame days and sent intern Daniel into the shadow realm.
He hit him, and then Daniel couldn't get back up for Torrey to finish pushing him over the edge. So Torrey walked over and was just kind of kicking him.
He kicked him once.
It was
And the crowd loved it. The team loved it. I loved it.
I had the best time. It was great.
It was pretty awesome. So we have set the mark. We have now had a trash panda in one of the promos, and he lit up an intern for all to enjoy. It was like a Christmas tree, baby.
It was great. But, man, the new era that we're ushering in here now, though, at Toyota Field, again, a bunch of young guys on the team, talented dudes. that were trying to get acclimated to Double-A. Gone are the days of 2022, man, with Coleman Crow, Aaron Whitefield, Ryan Aguilar, all in the last few weeks have been
Over 25% of the roster has flipped over.
Yeah, we've had guys called up, we've had guys traded, we've had guys released. It's been a big overhaul from what we've been used to.
Well, this is what we talked about last week during our podcast that I mentioned. This is the time of the year where, a lot of guys go up, down, away, sideways, like with Coleman Crow and Landon Marceau. And then with the draft coming up soon, I'm seeing the combine now. We're going to keep getting some new blood in here, and, you're going to have those few guys that hang around, but I can't wait to see what the second half looks like. New baseball, new players, same kind of trash panda theatrics like you saw here. We had another walk-off win on a wild pitch 2 weeks in two Fridays in a row. Plenty of other games that have been exciting, so it's going to be an action-packed July, August, and September here in Pandaland.
Our next home game, July 4th, man. And last year, it was a sellout crowd, baby.
4th of July is going to be sweet.
To get here, it's going to be a lot of fun. I definitely just remember this, and we got plenty of time left, so I have to get in here. Remember last week we were talking about pitchers that because they're the goofballs. And the pitchers will tell you that, the position players will tell you that the pitchers are weird, right? They'd make the best professional wrestlers, you said. And we were trying to find we were talking about how much we enjoy reading random players' Wikipedia bios and finding out the weirdest stuff. You may know this one. I was unaware of this one, but I was told to save it for you until we were on the podcast.
Ooh.
But I was told to have you, if you have not heard of it already, look up Fritz Peterson.
I'm already excited. You got me with the name. You had me at Fritz.
He was a Yankee in the 70s.
Fritz Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
My new alias anytime I go anywhere now.
Go pull Fritz Peterson.
I got old Fritzy up here. You want me to read that first paragraph? Is this what we're doing?
Yeah, if you would like to. I got something to show you.
All right. Fritz, real name Fred Ingalls Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
American former Major League Baseball player, played for the New York Yankees, the Cleveland Guardians, and Texas Rangers from 1966 to 1976. Peterson was a southpaw starting pitcher who enjoyed his best success in 1970 when the Yankees, he went 20-11 and pitched in the All-Star game. This next sentence is a doozy. Yeah. He is widely known for trading families with teammate Mike Kekich in the early 1970s. And then the next sentence, how did it get brought in after this? He had a career record of 133 and 131. How do you just skip over the part that him and Kekich traded families?
Now
and they go, and it was also 2 games above 500 on his pitching record.
Before you scroll down, on Wikipedia also, when you go down to the bottom, and it gives you like the little categories. You can click down like early life, professional career. Go down. Professional career, major leagues.
Yeah, rookie season, starting pitcher, all-star, traded to Cleveland, later career, wife swap.
There you go.
Now, before I read this, I joked about cities trading professional franchises. Fritzy was 50 years advanced. He was trading families back in the Ford administration. Okay, let's get to this. Peterson is probably best remembered today for swapping wives and children with fellow Yankee pitcher Mike Kekich. An arrangement the pair announced at spring training in 1973. The Peterson and Kekich families had been friends since 1969. Peterson and the former Suzanne Kekich are still married, but the relationship between Kekich and Marilyn Peterson did not last very long. We now know who the motivation was for this trade. By June, the Yankees traded Kekich. Quote, "It's a love story. It wasn't anything dirty." End quote.
There's more.
Peterson told a reporter in 2013, "I could not be happier with anybody in the world. Mama and I go out and party every night. We're still on the honeymoon. It has been a real blessing."
From what I understand, Kekich won't talk to anybody.
Quote from Kekich, "What the hell was I thinking? I've ruined my entire life. Could someone tell my kids to call me? That's not a real quote. What the hell?
Dude, I had to
Did
sit
Kekich get a draft pick or something? Did he get a...
I've been sitting on this since Saturday. Days, maybe even Friday. I've been sitting on this for days. You know how hard it has been not to tell you about this?
Post-baseball career. Peterson provided color commentary for the New York Raiders of the World Hockey Association during the 1972-73 season. He traded sports. He became a color commentary dude for hockey.
The same time it was going on, too.
So, yeah. He had his own little power play there, didn't he? Later, Peterson and Suzanne Kekich, the former wife of his teammate, lived outside Chicago, where he worked as a blackjack dealer at the Grand Victoria Casino in Elgin, Illinois.
This is one of the most fascinating human beings I've ever heard of. What gets me is there's little to no information. Everybody focuses on the wife swap, but no one goes and fleshes out the fact that they traded children.
The children part is insane.
Yeah, so
you have a new mom and dad.
I went and tried to find stories about this, and they were like,
"Mom."
I went and tried to find stories about it, and they all that I'd seen have been pieces done in the last few years about how, they go on to tell the story about there wasn't anything dirty. They would hang out. They were all friends, and then at one point they were going from point A to point B during the night out, and they were like, "Well, hey, how about you ride with Mike, and then Suzanne rides with me?" Then they kept doing that because they had fun, and then they eventually decided, like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. I'm in love with your wife. You're in love with my wife. So what we're going to do is it would be too crazy to have them uproot their whole lives and move." So the husbands swapped. Like, Mike Kekich gave up his life wherever he was and moved in to where Fritz Peterson lived, and Fritz just moved in over to where Mike had formerly lived, and they just assumed each other's lives. Or roles, I guess.
Till death or a spring training trade do us part.
Fritz Peterson and that lady are still together. And I'd never...
I love how the Kekich-Peterson one was like, it was a nightmare immediately. It turns out we probably shouldn't have traded families. Holy hell.
And technically I have 4 children between 2 of my families, and all 4 of them hate me.
I like this also in Fritz's bio here. Intensely religious man. An evangelical Christian who used to work with Baseball Chapel. Incredibly religious man. Okay, cool.
So again, I encourage all of you who listen or watch this podcast, if you have an athlete that has an interesting bio to read, Ricky and I love doing this, focusing on an athlete, going and looking up his Wikipedia and seeing all of his bio crazy stuff, and then going off and learning more about the athlete.
Fritz Peterson is a man that, if he didn't have baseball, probably would have been a full-blown sociopath, I think. Listen to this. A known practical joker, I bet Kekich is really loving that joke he played on him. Peterson was reportedly popular with his teammates, entertaining them with his elaborate jokes. He once used fake Baseball Hall of Fame letterhead to ask Moose Scarron to donate his pacemaker after he died. What? He's playing pranks on dudes in death. He's playing posthumous pranks.
So he wrote him a thing, and I guess gave it to him and said, "Hey, Major League Baseball wants your pacemaker when you die." That's awesome.
Moose set that up. He's like, "You got it. I'll get that for you."
Moose looked at that, and you know what he said? He said, "Came from a religious man."
It came from a great man who's currently married to Mike Kekich's family. Can we get an interview from the kids? What are Fritz Peterson's kids? They had to have opened up their mouths at some point and talked about this.
70s are insane.
Ex-Yank Fritz recalled for family switch. This was in the New York Post in 1999. In the end, Fritz Peterson has tried to do the best he could in every situation. When he swapped families with fellow Yankee pitcher Mike Kekich in the 70s, he thought it was for the best. It did work for Suzanne and Fritz. We've been married for 35 years. Things have been amazing. It did not work the other way. He said, quote, "I do not advocate divorce. I don't advocate people doing what we did, but it happened. We were all hopeful and probably naive, thinking that it could work out for all of us and our kids. I guess we were in love and didn't see the future.
Suzanne and Fritz have 3 children of their own and live in New Jersey and Colorado. They spend a lot of time in a travel trailer raising money for cancer research. Peterson is in his second battle with prostate cancer. That was in 99. He's still alive, too, by the way.
Peterson said, divorce always hurts the kids. That's sad. It could be worse, but it could be better. They're good kids and they're doing fine. What the hell? That's it. That's all we hear. They're good kids. They're doing fine.
Look at that. He wrote a book. Peterson, 67, wrote a book called Mickey Mantle is Going to Heaven.
Peterson has a great sense of humor and is contemplating a casket signing where he signs autographs from a casket. The hell? What is that? What does that mean?
I started getting very serious and studying about salvation because I was now going to face it, said Peterson, who deals with the subject in his book while giving an inside look at the Yankees clubhouse during his 11 years in the organization. And of course, his ingenious pranks. He's still pulling them.
Where are the kids? I'm going back.
I told you, dude. There's
gotta
nothing.
Be something on the kids.
The Kekich family has signed an NDA. They won't say anything. I can't find anything from them either.
I bet they changed their names. Probably moved to another country. Man, that'd be so wild. You got back from school and you're like, "Where's Dad?" And you're like, "That is Dad now." What? No, that's Mike Kekich from the Yankees.
That's Mr. Kekich.
No, he works with Dad. No, he is your dad. Dad lives with his old wife. What? Are you? I'm not doing my homework. If that's what the next thing you're going to tell me, because I got a lot to take in right now. I'm not doing my homework,
dude.
So just be ready for that.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the entire family situation. So, hear me out.
Okay.
Fritz and Suzanne. Suzanne was formerly a Kekich, right?
Sure.
So Fritz had his own kids with this lady over here. Suzanne had her own kids over here, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they had 3 kids together. So there's 3 sets of kids that this is impacted.
This family tree's crazy.
It's insane.
Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich ruined their careers. Pleases Ben Affleck. What?
Because he's from Boston? And they were Yankees?
Ben Affleck is working on a film based on what Peterson and Kekich revealed at their press conference. There have been rumors that Matt Damon may be involved. Now, this was in 2011.
I heard that they were trying to make a movie.
I guess this never happened. This needs to be a movie. This has Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly all over it.
Yeah.
Step brothers. It could be stepdads or something.
Yeah.
That's the sequel.
Oh, dude, Daddy's Home 4.
Another Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home 4. They just decide, you know what? After these 3 movies, we're just going to swap. We'll swap back.
We're doing the Fritz. We're doing the Fritz story.
Hey, remember when your dad was Mark Wahlberg? Well, now he's Will Ferrell. Congratulations. What?
The pets. The pets were involved, too.
What?
Fritz got Mike's pets. And his wife.
Dude.
And his kids.
I told you, it was wonderful. Sitting on this story for as many days as I had to was very tough.
What happened to the rest of Mike Kekich's life? It had to have been a nightmare. He ruined it.
He's still alive. He's 78.
I bet he's bitter as hell, though.
Click on his Wikipedia bio, because there's nothing about him talking about this.
Wow, they didn't even put in the wife swap part of his into the top bio.
No, but they made sure to let us know he played in Japan for the Nippon Ham Fighters.
There's nothing on this guy.
He went into hiding. I
where
think you're
is
right.
the movie?
I think he switched identity.
Who's that guy that does those movies for PBS? He does all the documentaries. Burns, something. No, what's come on, help me out.
I don't know what you're talking about. Damn it. I have no idea. Google that. You can Google Mike Kekich. You can't
PBS documentary guy. Something. I think it's Burns. Something Burns. PBS doc guy. Baseball. Ken Burns. Where's the Ken Burns 12-part documentary about Mike Kekich's life? I want every bit of that. And I don't care about the baseball. I want from 1973 on. What was it like living with a new wife and kids and pets? That went horrible. Like, what happened from there? Oh, man. You just wrecked. There's no way I'm getting any work done the rest of the day is what I'm saying.
I'll go back to Fritz's bio. I just want to read that one part again at the beginning. The most amazing sentence I think I've ever heard in my entire life. The most amazing two sentences back to back. He is widely known for trading families with teammate Mike Kekich in the early 70s. He had a career record of 133 and 131.
Did they count the win over Kekich in the trade?
I think so. It's got to be in there for sure.
Man, dude. He should have got some compensatory picks or something later on. I hope the Yankees send him a fruit tray because then they trade the man.
Kekich got screwed, man.
He did. Oh.
All right,
Who brought that up? Who was the first guy like, hey, man, your curveball's looking good. Your wife's looking pretty good, too. What do you say I take her and the kids? They become my family. What? Excuse me? Yeah.
I said drinks.
I'm not gonna leave you empty-handed, buddy. You can have my old bag and my kids, and we got a lizard. You can have that too. Keep them in a terrarium.
But you have to upsell them too, even though you don't want them. You have to upsell them. No, they're good. I mean,
dude, you like pot roast? She is dynamite when it comes to that. You're gonna love it. You're really gonna love it. My kids, I love them so much. I'm giving them to you. I'm so blessed. I want other people to have my kids.
I'm honestly starting to second guess it right now. Honestly, you better take it now, or I'm taking it back forever.
You don't take them. I'm gonna give them to somebody. Somebody on this team's going to have my wife and kids and lizard. So, look, pal. Think about it.
And lizard.
It's an exotic pet. It's a chameleon.
It's half a crocodile.
It changes colors, so when you get traded in a couple months, it'll be the color of your new team. What do you mean I'm getting traded? Never mind. What do you think? You want my family? Do you want it? Go ahead and take it.
You know, in the movie, speaking of Will Ferrell, in The Other Guys, where he takes Mark Wahlberg home, and Mark Wahlberg meets his really hot wife.
Hi, Sheila.
And how Sheila's like, have Sheila call me. Hey, Sheila, seriously. That was Kekich and
Hi,
Fritz.
Sheila.
Fritz, every time, like, oh, you good? How's Suzanne doing? She good?
She good? She
Hi,
all right?
Suzanne.
Yeah. I had pot roast again at my house.
Actually, Suzanne was supposed to be the best man at his wedding, but she declined. And then they ended up getting married.
This is like when Talladega Nights. He takes his wife in his house, and then he calls him and still wants to be friends. He's like, I hate you, man. You think they invited Kekich out to the wedding? Like, hey, man, I want you to be my best man. No, I won't be your best man. I hate you, man. You took my family.
I hate you, dude.
And you gave me your bum family. The family you didn't even want anymore.
Yeah, anyway, dude, your kid always talking about food or something. What's he eat? What's he like?
Dude, what's up with your wife, man? She's always talking about how she misses you and stuff. I hate this. I'm starting to think this might have been a bad idea.
Hello? Fritz, you there?
What?
Hello?
What? Hello? What do you mean I'm traded?
Dude went out of the country to Japan.
Yeah, you got to go to another place after that.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, I'm good to go ahead and call it on that one.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's about it.
There's no recovering and going to anything else from the Petersons and the Kekiches switching families.
How I didn't know about that until today, I don't know, but I'm glad I don't have to live another day not knowing.
Great idea. How about I go stay over at your house and you go stay over at my house, and then we just never go home?
That sounds like it could be trouble.
Sounds terrible.
But I'm in. Give me the keys.
What's your dog's name?
Dude, spring training. This guy's in spring training. How do you talk the... All right, let's just get out of here. I'll never understand it.
All right, thank you to everybody for watching. I believe it was Bob that brought that up to me down there on the concourse, so thank you, Bob. Blowing Ricky's mind there. Look, I stood there and read that next to him, and he and his wife could see my face just going, "What? And the kids?
And the lizard?
What?" We'll be back on Wednesday. Again, drop your suggestions there in the comments. If you're listening on the audio version of this and not watching on YouTube, tweet us at Tony Mac or at Tony Trash Panda, at Tricky Ricky RCTP. Let us know other athletes' stories to look up because there's just a wide range of these guys out there.
Hey, man. Are you allowed to have a pet lizard in Ohio? They traded me to Cleveland, man. I don't even know what to do with the lizard now. They stopped me at the. Oh, what do you mean it's fine? I don't think it is. Hello?
We'll see
Hello?
you guys Wednesday.
No, hold on. Wait. One more announcement before we get out of here. The MLB Futures roster announcements tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Check that out.
5:30 MLB Network. They're going to announce the Futures team, like All-Star Weekend. They got the Futures game. And I think you might hear a little Panda action there. We've had Kai Bush played last year, Reed Detmers the year before. So if you want to see some of your boys out there get announced, tune in, 5:30 MLB Network.
A couple Trash Panda hopefuls, maybe.
Maybe.
See you Wednesday, 2 to 5. Or